Hi everybody, I'm so excited to start this flow for you today. We are going to be doing a power yoga flow dealing with static isolate poses. These are poses that are longer holds, engaging a muscle without movement, without expanding and contracting the muscle, but holding it steady in the pose. This yoga flow is great for anybody who wants to include it as a power flow. It's inclusive of everybody, but it is made for snowboarders in mind. This is a great flow to do pre-season or in between runs on the mountain. I want to share with you guys that I've been snowboarding for 7 years now. I am an advisor at the ski club at the high school I work at, and I could not get the grasp of snowboarding for about 3 years. And once I started pairing it with yoga in that static isolate movements of holding poses longer, it completely revolutionized my riding, and I hope I can do the same for you with this flow. If you're not a snowboarder, keep it in your routine, in your rotation for a power flow, because it's great for everybody too. Thanks, let's get started.
We'll be meeting today in a child's pose, stacking our hips over our heels, bringing our forehead to ground into the mat, bringing awareness to our palms, our knees, our forearms, rest against the mat. Connecting to our Ujjayi breath, inhale through the nose, exhale. On your next inhale, downward facing dog, pedaling it out, getting started right away this evening. This will be a power flow that is suitable for anybody to incorporate into their rotation, but we will be doing longer holds to isolate and do static exercise with various muscles to help anyone build strength, but specifically those who engage in winter sports like snowboarding or skiing, where we are mimicking this same static motion. Inhale, right foot rises, three-legged downward facing dog, connecting to your breath. Rotating the hip open, hinging through the knee. Bringing the right foot back down, three-legged dog, pressing through the left heel. Opening through the left hip, bending at the knee, pressing through that left heel. Staying firm, palms grounded to the mat, lowering left foot down. Bringing our knees to hover, engaging our core. Shifting it back, downward facing dog. Connecting breath to movement. Bending the knees, hover over the mat. Keeping our spine straight. Letting our breath flow, shifting our hips back, downward facing dog. Bending the knees, letting our knees hover one more time. Shifting back, downward facing dog. Inhale, right foot rises. Exhale, bringing the knee through. Stepping. We will be meeting in our crescent warrior, planting that right foot firm into the mat. Imagine you're holding a beach ball between the thighs, bringing the thighs in together to find strength. Hands to heart center, opening to the right. Gaze over our right fingertips for a twist. Finding that stability through our core and our thighs. Both hands meet in front, opening to warrior two, gaze out over the right fingertips. Letting our breath flow. Inhale, reverse. Static pose. Cartwheeling the hands back down. Easy twist, left palm plants, right fingertips raise. Hands frame the foot. Step back to plank. Shifting our ankles back and forth. Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, left foot rises, three-legged. Exhale, step it through. Meeting in our crescent warrior left side. Making sure our knee is at a 90-degree angle, engaging both inner thighs, pulling inwards. Gaze out in front of us, letting our breath flow, building heat. When you're ready, exhaling the hands to heart center. Inhale, opening to the left. Gaze out over those left fingertips. Keeping firm in our lower body and core. Hands meet back to center, opening to warrior two. Gaze over the left fingertips, keeping that left knee rotated out by the left pinky toes. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, cartwheeling the hands down, finding easy twist. Right palm plants, gaze up at our left fingertips. Hands frame the foot, step back to plank. Set up your plank, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, right foot rises. Exhale, step it through. Holding your knee, allowing it to hover over the mat. Engaging our core, further building heat in this pose. Send it back up. Exhale, step it through. Meeting in our crescent warrior. Exhaling our hands to heart center, opening to the right, bringing it back through to center, crescent two. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, cartwheel the hands down, but not all the way, as if you're holding a beach ball in this pose, engaging the left side obliques. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, cartwheeling the hands down. Step back to plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Left foot rises. Exhale, left knee steps in and hovers. Firm through the palms. Inhale, send it back. Exhale, step it through this time, meeting in crescent warrior. Bringing our hands to heart center, opening to the left. Bringing it back through, opening to warrior two, gaze over the left fingertips. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, catch that beach ball, engaging the right side body. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, cartwheel the hands down. Step back to plank. Inhale, set up your plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, right foot rises. Hover it over the mat. Engaging that core. Send it back. Exhale, step it through. Meeting once again in crescent. Exhale, send it forward. Finding expansion in the left hip flexor. Strength in the right quad. Inhale, send it back up. Bring our hands to heart center, opening to warrior two. Gaze over the right fingertips. Inhale, reverse, straightening that leg. Bringing our hand to our shin, extending our left hand overhead. Bending through warrior two. Inhaling our hands overhead, wide-legged forward folds. Letting our head hang heavy, grounding through the soles of the feet. Walking our hands to frame the foot, step back to plank. Chaturanga, meeting in downward facing dog. Inhale, left foot rises. Exhale, hover the knee. Sending it back, slow controlled movements. Stepping it through. Inhaling our hands overhead, meeting crescent warrior. Exhale, send it forward. Inhale, meeting back in crescent warrior. Exhale, hands to heart center, opening warrior two. Inhale, reverse, straightening that left leg. Bringing our palm to shin, gaze up over the right fingertips. Finding expansion through the side body. Wide-legged forward folds. Hand placement of choice, walking them forward or back. Heel toeing our feet back together, hands walk and frame the left foot. Step back to plank. Holding our plank in this position, finding stillness or movement. Letting our breath flow. Preparing for our next pose, we're sending our heels off to the left, but keeping our arms in plank position. This will further engage the obliques to mimic the position of carving on the snowboard. Bring it back through center, letting our heels fall out to the right. Bringing it back through center. Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, right foot rises. Exhale, step it through. Meeting in our crescent warrior. Bring our hands to heart center, take flight. Pressing through our left heel, keeping our hands at heart center, being open through the center of the heart. If you want to release your wings and take flight, I encourage you to do so. Gently bringing the left knee through, finding balance, engaging the core, grounding through the right leg. Left knee raise. Inhaling our hands overhead. Bringing our hands through to heart center. Bringing our left knee out, finding tree pose. Letting our breath flow, finding something stable to look at. Balance is key in winter sports. Closing the knee, step back, lunge. Inhaling our hands overhead. Exhale, hands frame the foot, step back to plank. Chaturanga, take your flow, meeting in downward facing dog. Left foot rises. Exhale, step it through. Inhale, crescent warrior. Exhale, send it forward, take flight, pressing through that right heel. There is an uneven spot under my mat, so it is hard to balance on this side. If you fall out, just come back in. Slowly bringing the right knee forward, for right knee raise. Can you guys tell from my balance if I'm left foot forward, if I'm regular or goofy? Put in the comments below your guess. Opening that knee out to the right, placing our foot in our inner thigh, away from the knee joint and ankle joint. If this is too much, you can kickstand the foot. Closing the knee back, stepping back into our crescent warrior once again. Hands frame the foot, step back to plank, holding our plank, finding stillness or motion. I like to rock back and forth, and it just helps stretch out those ankles. Bring our heels out to the left, finding side plank, leg position of choice. Play in this pose. If you need a modification, you can bring your left knee down to the mat for modified side plank. Reaching that right hand overhead, meeting back through center, regaining our balance, meeting in side plank, opposite side. Grounding through the right palm, reaching through our left fingertips. Meeting back through center, chaturanga at your own pace. Meeting in child's pose for a quick rest, connecting back to your ujjayi breath, inhaling through the nose, exhaling back out. Lifting back into tabletop position, meeting in downward facing dog, bending the knees, step or jump, top of the mat. Inhale, meeting in chair pose, bringing our hands to heart center. Holding this position, sinking down through our hips, keeping tall through the crown of the head. Inhaling our hands overhead, letting our breath flow. Straighten the legs, exhale, forward fold. Toe healing the feet out, hip width apart. Peace fingers around the big toes, bending the knees to take pressure off the back to whatever extent is necessary, letting our head hang heavy. Stepping the left foot back, bringing our hands to the inside of the right knee, lowering our left knee down, finding lizard pose. Feel free to keep the knee stacked over the ankle or allow the knee to fall out, knifing the right foot into the mat and coming down onto your forearms. If this is too much, keep on the palms and just keep the knee stacked over the ankle. Connecting to our ujjayi breath, sending that breath to wherever feels tight. Walking the hands back up. Lifting our hands overhead to modified crescent, finding once again a stretch in that left hip flexor. Gold posting the hands to open the shoulders. Shifting our hips back over our heels. Keeping our hip points pointed forward, not over rounding through the back, and bringing our fingertips over the toes. If this is too much or too much pressure on the back, keep a small bend in that right knee. Walking our hands up, stepping the left foot up. Inhale back to chair and bringing our hips down, reaching through the crown of the head. Exhaling our hands to heart center. Stepping the right leg back this time, walking the hands to the inside of the left knee, lowering that right knee down. Finding lizard pose this side, either keeping the knee stacked over the ankle or allowing the knee to fall out. Staying up on our hands or walking our hands down to rest in the forearms. This is my tighter side, so I'm not going to stay here as long. Hands frame the feet. Modified crescent, finding the expansion through the right hip flexor. Goal posting the arms to find expansion through the shoulders. Inhaling our hands overhead, shifting the hips over the right heel, keeping those hip points pointed forward, bending the left knee not to over round through the back. This flow is designed to strengthen you and gain flexibility and expansion. Meeting back in a tabletop position, I'm going to turn to face the camera. We are going to take tadpole or frog pose, widening the knees, coming down onto our forearms. Frog is where our feet stay pointed outward. Tadpole is essentially a wide-legged child's pose. Allow your body to direct you to the best position of choice. Connecting back to the breath, sending the breath to wherever feels tight. Walking our hands up. Meeting in tabletop position. Connecting to your breath. I had to put on a jacket because it's so cold and this is not a heated building. Alright. Make yourself comfortable, bringing the right knee forwards, bending and falling and resting into our pigeon pose. Finding stillness in connection to breath. Allowing the heat being built from earlier in the practice to fade away. To soften into this pose. Walking our hands up, stretching tall through the crown of the head. Sending the right foot back through plank, bringing our left knee forward, finding pigeon on the left side. Calming our mind and regaining our center of attention. Walking our hands up, reaching through the crown of the head. Walking our hands back to saddle pose, letting our seat rest in between our heels. Feel free to use a block or a pillow in this position to stay up on your elbows or to go all the way down. Walking our hands back up. Bringing our feet back in front of us. Bringing our spine down to the mat, one vertebrae at a time. Crossing our right foot over the left, letting our hips fall out to the right. Bringing our fingertips overhead and to the left of the mat. For banana pose, you're essentially creating a banana shape in your body to expand and strengthen through the back. Shifting banana pose to the other side, allowing our hips to fall out to the left. Bringing our knees into center, allowing them to fall out to the left. Gaze over our right fingertips, connecting to our breath. Bringing our knees back through center, allowing them to fall out to the right. Gaze over our left fingertips. Bringing our knees back to center, windshield wipering them left and right, just to create a little bit more expansion in the spine. Lifting our hips, bringing our elbows to support our hands at our lower spine, pointing through the toes. Allowing your feet to fall overhead to find some expansion through the back. You can bring your toes to touch the mat or just stay where I'm at. Lowering your seat back to the mat, resting in your final Shavasana pose. Thank you for practicing with me today. Feel free to pause this video and stay as long as you would like. Rolling onto your left or right side when you're ready to come out. Meeting in seated meditation. Thank you and have a safe season on the board. Bye!